Show me the money. That's right. Negotiating your salary is probably one of the most trickiest parts of a job interview and getting a job, but career expert Tom O'Neill is here with some invaluable advice. Invaluable as well. Great to have you on the show, Tom. So when you are negotiating a salary, I understand, I've been told never, if they say what do you want looking for, you never say what you are looking for, you say what are you going to offer me.
That's right. And as soon as you say, let's say, a figure, you immediately pigeonhole yourself.
Yes, because they might have been thinking, God, that's like I was going to give her 10 grand more.
Well, exactly, but suddenly if it's, let's say they were prepared to offer 10 grand more and you give yourself 10 grand less, you start to think, oh, maybe this person isn't right because they haven't backed themselves to the level that this role's worth.
Okay.
So ideally, always say something, you know, like, well, you know, to be honest, I'm really excited about this role, and just can you tell me what it's paying? As a recruiter and an HR manager, I would then always turn around and say, well, no, I want to know what you want. And at the end of the day, you know, if you're asked and you're on the spot, you have to come back with a good figure, respond in a band. Don't say, you know, 45 or 52. Respond in a band, and that gives you a bit of flexibility.
How big should the band be?
Let's say you're wanting, you know, around, let's say, 48. So you'd say late 40s, early 50s.
Okay.
And so that way it gives a bit of flexibility.
So you always go a bit higher than you actually want?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that way, if they, let's say late 40s, early 50s, and they're paying 45, well, then they might come up a bit. And if they're paying 55, well, they may come down just a touch, you know, rather than saying 48, and they're paying, let's say, 58, and they're thinking, well, again, 10 grand difference. Maybe this person's not the one for us. How
do you know what the position should pay?
That is a tricky one. A lot of the time organisations won't actually put the salary or wages. So a good thing to do is firstly go online, look at Seek, look at Trade Me, and look at similar jobs. And they'll have, not a lot of the time, but 1 out of every 10 will have a salary band or whatever. So it gives you a bit of an indication. Trade Me also has a salary section, which gives you a vague understanding of what industries are worth. And finally, a really good thing is to phone recruitment consultant, or I'd probably phone 2 or 3.
Right.
And just say, look, you know, I'm a customer services professional in insurance, and I'd like to give you my CV. I'm looking for a role, and can you tell me what a role like this would cost? Would be worth. And
will they be happy to do that even if you're not particularly with them?
Well, you'd sell it in the context that, you know, you're going to be giving them your CV.
Oh, okay.
You know, so you'd want to give them your CV, and of course that's extra exposure for you. So, you know, there's no downside. How
do you know your worth? So say you find out, okay, so the customer service rep normally gets between 50 and 60. How do you know where you fit in individually within that band?
Well, it's really important to know what you can bring to the role. Too many people just bowl up and go, I'd like the job, you know. Great, okay. You know, what you want to do is know your experience, know your achievements, know your skills. So you've actually got a genuine confidence in yourself. So when you go to the marketplace, you know, you're confident in that figure. And, I mean, a lot of people pitch themselves too high, but most people, funnily enough, pitch themselves too low. And understand it's the employer's job to try and get you for as little as possible.
Of course it is.
And so if you allow it, you'll just totally be underselling yourself.
I think that's quite interesting, and I think that's kind of a bit of a reflection of the New Zealand psyche, which is, you know, we don't like the you know, we've got this tall poppy sort of fear, and we don't like to ever sort of oversell ourselves. Quite a modest nation, would you agree?
100%, you know. If there's one time in life, one time in New Zealand society to get out there and say, this is who I am, this is the value I can bring, it's the job interview. You know, you don't go to a barbecue and tell everyone how awesome you are. Of course you don't. That's
well, some people do, but but you don't usually.
But, you know, but generally you don't. But, you know, in that sort of situation, it's your job to give them the information to make the best decision they can. If you're underselling yourself, you're not being honest to the employer with all the value you can bring them.
One last thing in your list of ideas here, and we're going to recap, and we've got a graphic of them, is think about your happiness as well as the salary. And let's take a look at some of these points. So we've gone through all the first 4, but happiness above salary, what do you mean by that? Well,
I mean, if you're a real corporate machine and you're happy just to get stuck in for the cash, okay, if that's your thing, go for it. But for the vast majority of people, you know, there'd be family and all these other things which are more important. And so, you know, you may be earning $5,000 less, but it's a 5-minute commute to work rather than an hour-and-a-half commute to work.
Child-friendly people, you like the people, those sort of things.
Absolutely. Health benefits, you may get a company car, you may get a company cell phone, all those sort of things. Suddenly, they add tangible value to your happiness level, which then conversely can make, you know, missing out on $5,000 quite a major difference.
And I just want to mention before we go, you have got a job camp in Auckland on May the 28th. We are giving away a couple of passes, but if anyone wants to know about that, you can call us now, 0800 888 255, 0800 888 255 if you want to be in to win that. And also people can find out on our website if they want to just come along on their own. Thank you so much, Tom.
Thanks,
and Tom's back next week. He's talking interview technique, but for now you only have a few minutes to enter this week's competition.